Tell me why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long. Tell me why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long, want you all night, watch 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 all night. Tell me why'd you have to go and drive me so crazy? Now I'm feeling lost without you, and I just can't be without you, baby. Want you all night long, want you all night long.
So today we headed out of J&J Campground, which is in Mexico, New York. So it sounds really funny to say we were in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
But we stopped there for 2 nights because, of course, we were boondocking at the state park we were at with Phil's mom. And we finished up a little bit of laundry, cleaned out the tanks, cleaned out the rig, and did a little cooking.
Yeah, it was a great stop. And of course, the heat came back suddenly, so we were lucky to have full hookups and the AC.
Yes, the AC was sweet, and my long showers were also equally as nice.
Yeah.
Long, hot showers.
Yeah, I had to wait probably a good 30 minutes after her showers
Aww.
for the hot water to come back.
Oh, well.
The price we have to pay.
That's right. So, we are headed to another state park. This time we're going to have electric. I'm pretty excited about that because it seems to be pretty warm up here in these northern states this year. So, having that AC at the state park is going to be really nice for sleeping.
Yeah, it's only 30 amp hookup, but we can run one AC, the front AC during the day, and then we can run the bedroom one when we go to sleep at night. So that's a win, if you ask me.
Yeah. And in case you're wondering, yes, we always sit on this side of the table because Phil just can't get enough of me, so he always wants to be super close.
Right. What she said. I just hope I'm in the shot. Her shot.
Yeah. So we're actually at a rest stop. We stopped.
We are at a service plaza.
Oh, pardon. We are at a service plaza, which is a lot fancier than a rest stop.
Mm-hmm.
We stopped because Phil had something in his eye he had to clear out.
And it wasn't my finger.
Did you get it?
I don't know. I put some drops in it, so it seems to be working. It was all scratched. I don't know.
So while we're here, we're going to go ahead and fill up with gas and
Or diesel.
They knew what I meant. Whatever, fuel. We're packing in the fuel.
That's right, fuel.
And we're packing in our own fuel because we're having a little lunch. I figured if we're stopping, we might as well do it all.
Yep. And the beauty of having those Battle-Born batteries, I didn't have to crank up the generator. Just plopped it in the microwave and hit start.
That is true. That's true. So, fueling our bodies, fueling the rig, and then we will get back on the road. Because, of course, we always leave the campground around 11. And Phil's belly button pops out by noon, and he's starving. So,
I'm a growing boy. I got to eat.
yeah, we're both growing. That is a problem.
I like food.
All right, we have a surprise for you when we get to our next state park. So, don't go anywhere.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah. So we made it to the state park.
I mean RV.
Here's the surprise! Surprise!
We found them.
So after what, 10 whole days?
Yeah.
Not even 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
They just can't stay away from us.
we can't.
Mm-mm.
We're addicted to it.
Where y'all at? Around the corner?
Around the corner.
I thought you were 708. I got
We
you.
are, but it is weird. Like we're right around the corner.
Well,
we're
we're
up the
11.
blocks. Yeah,
I know.
it's
We're
weird.
And that's
It's
6
weird.
right there.
Oh, I saw 709 over there.
They just pulled in.
Yeah.
So I-
Finishing up.
Oh, well.
709 is right there. I figured y'all were right
Me
there.
too. I
Yeah.
kept looking.
No.
Oh, well.
We're around
It's
there.
around the corner.
Oh, well.
Around the
Fun's to be had again.
Yes, and we are at the Grand Canyon of the East.
Yeah.
That's right.
So it's the third Grand Canyon.
Somebody got her hair
Opinion.
did, didn't she?
I did.
She did.
I was going to say, well, I'm trying to figure out what is going on. She's gone for a week and she comes back with a whole new.
All for you,
I
Phil.
think- I
All for
think-
you.
I think
All right.
I gave her the gray hair. That's
Okay.
what it was.
I probably, yeah.
That's it.
$300 has a book. Okay, 110.
It's great.
110.
Wow. Mine was 11.
Well,
And it
110
shows.
after 4
And it
months.
shows.
I don't know. You go about every 2 weeks, so
And
that's
so-
about
10 days is pushing it for Phil.
Yeah.
So how did it feel to be separated for a week? I mean, from her
From
and
us.
from us.
No, from
Yeah.
us, not from your husband. We don't care about
Yeah,
that.
you know how that felt.
We thought we would show you what everyone comes here for. There is over 14,000 acres of land here at the state park. It is 17 miles long and 1.5 miles wide. And we are taking you to one of 3 of its claim to fame.
Yeah, good thing I didn't have to remember all that because I'd have screwed it all up. I thought there was 1,100 acres here yesterday. 14,000. That's a lot of acreage.
Yeah.
All right, that's waterfall number 1. Let's head to the next one. All right, so this is the middle fall,
Yep.
which is where we found the rainbow, but no Skittles.
No, but we did get a cool mist.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Now, something to know about this park, the first 1,000 acres was actually donated to the state by Mr. Letchworth. That's where the name came from.
Letchworth.
Yeah, that. He wanted to make sure the waterfalls and the gorge was protected because that was the part that he owned.
Good stuff.
Yeah, Phil hates history. He doesn't even care.
Well, I cared enough to get his name right.
That is true. That's true. And by the way, you can see the house he lived in here on the park. They're actually using the house. I think it's the restaurant.
Yeah, it is. It's a pretty nice restaurant. They've maintained it and kept it up pretty well.
All right, so let's go to the lower falls.
Sure.
All right, so I'm officially testing out the ankle. So this should be an easy hike. It's about a 1/2 mile into the lower falls. So this will determine if I get to play tomorrow on other easy trails. I don't know how it's going to go. It may not turn out well.
Might I suggest you not carry the camera, try to walk and talk and watch the trail at the same time.
You see how I'm treated?
Safety first.
Don't stop. Can't believe I live in your thoughts. I think about you all the time, morning, evening, and midnight. Such a wonderful delight.
All right, we made it to the lower falls, and it might be a little loud right now.
Yeah, and it was quite the hike to get down here too. There was a lot of stairs.
Well, actually, for my ankle, it was better to do the stairs than everything else. It's actually an easy hike. It's pretty flat because many people have been here before us.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
All right, since everyone's always asking me about the campgrounds, we're going to give you a little campground info. The best part is it's all electric.
Yes.
So the whole campground has electric. It's 30 amp, but still you can pump out some good AC with that 30.
Well, some sites have 50. We just were unlucky. Well, we were lucky to get an electric site, so we have 30 amp.
Yeah. Also, there are, I can't remember how many campsites, but there are a ton of campsites, but make sure you look closely because very few allow pets.
Yeah, I think
Two loops.
we're in the 700 loop, and they allow pets. I don't think 800 does, but they might be because they're next to each other, so maybe they do.
But there's only 2 loops, so make sure
Yeah.
you look for that. So that made it hard for us to actually get into the park. And it is a state park, so in some of the sites you'll have might have trouble leveling because it's not completely flat. But Al and Angie got in, and they're 40 foot.
Yeah, and they're in one of the most sloped sites that I've seen, and you know, a little wood under the tires and the jack pad got him level.
A little negotiating.
Yeah.
The bathrooms look brand new,
Mhm.
so really nice. They have bathrooms with the individual rooms with showers in there as well, so that's nice.
Yep. One stop shopping.
Also,
They are open year-round, so if you wanted to come here in the winter, and for those of you without RVs yet, they do have a ton of cabins throughout the campground, and they're super cute.
Yeah, they look nice. Roomy. I mean, there's space between them. Nice little areas. Very nice.
The gorge is full of trees, so I can only imagine what this place will look like in the spring and the fall. I bet it's beautiful when the trees are budding, and in the fall when they're changing color, so that's something to know. And you can also ski and snowmobile here. There are miles and miles of trails, but in the winter they open some for both of those.
Yeah, and if you have a drone and you like to fly your drone, if you
Good luck
come
with
here,
that.
you have to have a license. You have to have it. No, you have to get a permit, and you have to have insurance.
Yeah, you have to have insurance to get a permit.
Yeah. So if you don't have any of those, keep your drone in your rig.
Yeah, most state parks we just figure we can't fly in anyway, but New York is very strict.
Yeah.
So
no aerial footage from here.
but other than that, it is a beautiful campground, beautiful state park. Definitely worth coming here. It is gorgeous, and I can see now why they call it the Grand Canyon of the East.
Yeah, I mean the dang it, I can't even say what they are. The waterfalls are very cool to see, and seeing them at the upper and the lower.
Yep.
And it's not even a lot of water that's coming through, but the sound. I mean, when it hits
It's
that
powerful.
fall, it is powerful. It's very nice. And if I had a hammock by one of these falls, I could
Be
sleep
out.
for hours.
And for those of you who can't walk long distances, see the waterfalls, you can park really close and walk out to them. So you don't have to hike, a couple miles in like you do for some state parks.
Yeah, the upper falls is probably the best for the non-walking or hiking too.
Yeah.
They're right there next to the parking lot.
Yeah. So if you're in this area, make sure you check it out, and make sure you check it out early, because I started looking 6 months ago and they were completely booked. And of course, that whole thing where if you wait to the last minute, people cancel is very true. So that's how we got in.
Yeah, and good on her for staying on top of that, or we might have missed this place.
Oh, and whoever was the subscriber that recommended this place, there were actually a couple of you. Thanks, because we're here because of you.
That's right, and it's highly recommended.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for.
All right, we're at the visitor center, figuring out what we're going to do today, figuring out our plan.
Yeah, there's a lot to do here, and apparently we're not going to be able to do it all. So we got to pick and choose.
Well, that's because we were planning to do the zip line, but apparently the zip line starts on the Canadian side, and then it brings you back to our side. But a couple of people that are traveling with us, that I won't mention names,
Rhymes with Al and Angie.
don't have passports. So when you start your adventure, make sure you have passports, because you never know where you're going to end up and what you might want to do. We also wanted to pop into Canada when we were in Maine, but those same two people didn't have passports. So be prepared.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been cool, but we'll do it another time. No biggie.
That's all right. We'll catch a zip line somewhere else.
Yeah, true.
But if you're here, you should do it, and then let us know about it.
Yeah, please do it.
We'll be
Let us
jealous.
know.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife.
So if you were planning to do the zip line, this bridge is what you'll go over. That bridge takes you to Canada and back to the U.S.
Yeah, and I'm looking at people ziplining right now, wishing it was us.
Yeah.
You can see them across the water.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
It does. It looks like it's just a straight shot down to almost the bottom of the gorge.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live.
All right, so we thought we would give you some tips to help you survive Niagara Falls. First off, if you want to try and live
when you dive over Niagara Falls, make sure you do it in a barrel and know you have a good chance to survive because 2/3 have lived.
Pro tip.
Yeah. Well, my tip was not so dangerous. My tip is you can go to the visitor center in downtown versus the one right at the state park. It's less crowded and you can get all kinds of brochures, material there.
Good tip. Mine would be bring a Camelback of your own beverage because I bought a bottle of water for $3.20. Water's costly here.
I'd say be patient. That's the biggest key for me. A lot of people want to go to a little space of rail. There's plenty of time, plenty of room to see the falls from a lot of different angles. Be patient, wait your turn, go in for a few minutes, come out.
All right, so the next one would be here when the park opens. It opens at different times depending on the season, but if you're here first, it's way less crowded, especially if you're going to be here on a weekend or in the summer.
And if you're here early, you can get the $10 parking. They have 3 parking lots, it's $10. We didn't get here early enough, so we are in the $25 parking area.
Bring some good walking shoes because you're going to hoof it around the park. You go from the observation deck over to the horseshoe area. You're gonna walk, so you're gonna want comfy shoes.
Yeah, and don't be intimidated into buying all the packages and buying all the stuff that they funnel you through the area that makes you think you need to buy all these packages. For $1.25, I was able to get up on the observation deck. That's all we spent. That's all we spent. $2.50 for Angie and I. Walk the whole park. It's free.
All right,
Wait.
Mom's getting tired. Time to switch.
Uh-oh. All right, so if you have a few bucks to spend and you want to know what it feels like to be in hurricane force winds, make sure you hit the Cove of the Winds and you can get right up to the falls and it will knock you down. Oh, Angie's up. What does she have? Sorry,
And Anne's
guys.
just joined us.
I do have something. We don't have our passports. So Bill and Stacy wanted to do the zip lining, and that's on the Canadian side. So if you want to go on the Canadian side, have your passports.
Yep.
Yeah. With that, though, it says zip line over the falls. Not so much. You zip line next to the falls, close to the falls, but not over them.
No.
So buyer beware.
Be ready for traffic too. You're at a port of entry to the country, and there's a lot of people that are not sure. Well, we weren't even sure half of the laws around here, but a lot of people not sure how to drive in and out, and it's just pretty congested. So be patient there too. A lot of construction when we're here too.
Yeah.
Good point.
So is Niagara Falls worth it? Yes, it's a big tourist place, but I think it's totally worth it. It is beautiful. The falls are worth seeing, and you can spend as little or as much money as you want while you're here. You hear that above? You can even take a helo tour and see the falls. So don't skip it just because you think it's going to be crowded.
The other thing that I like is that's pretty loud. Let me wait for that to go.
I say come, definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely thumbs up.
Yeah.
We have landed at a hydroplane boat race. So you can hear them. They're hydroplane or hydroplane boats. I think that's the name of them.
Yeah, and they go up to 170 miles per hour.
So we're going to go check them out. I have found my next drone. I have drone envy right now. That was badass.
Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Hey now, honey, I've been driving around in my car, looking for some kind of open bar. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Got no money, but I'll work it out with my charm. Having a good time, ain't doing no harm. It's gonna be alright, gonna be alright.
We have gone from waterfalls to boat races to antique cars, and now we're strolling through a farm with sunflowers. I think
Right.
that's a pretty nice, round, even day.
It is. So we're going to go pick us a couple different varieties. I didn't even know there was different varieties.
All right, so we're getting ready to leave our Harvest Host here near Niagara Falls. This winery was pretty amazing, but I want to just remind you guys about community. I know I talk about it all the time, but we came in last night after going to the sunflower farm, and we had new neighbors. And when they got back from Niagara Falls, they popped over and sat in chairs with us, and we talked for hours. Of course, they are both retired Navy veterans, so we had a common bond there immediately. But it's really amazing, like I said, who you're going to meet, who you run into along the way, and you really can develop some great bonds and friendships along the way. So make sure you get out there and make sure you say hi to your neighbor while you're out there on the road. You never know who you're going to run into. Also, if you haven't joined Harvest Host or Boondockers Welcome, because that's where we're going next, we're going to spend 2 nights at a Boondockers Welcome a little south of here. Make sure you check them out because we love them. The only negative is, what do we do with our trash? As you can see, we both have trash to get rid of. You don't leave them at Harvest Host or your Boondockers Welcome. That would be rude. So we usually put it in the Jeep and find somewhere in town to drop it off. But I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for hanging out with us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the road.